Hey everybody, it's Chrisese, and online is Wootini, here with another one of my gay gamer video podcasts. This week it's all about the PlayStation, because this past week I had a little panic attack, just a little one, when I went to wake up my PlayStation so I could play some Assassin's Creed, and I got the big blue screen of possible death. And it said, database corrupted, please restart PlayStation. I freaked out. I was like, what? Because I'd never seen that one before. And I hit OK. But when I hit OK, it actually put me back in my game. And everything was fine. I was where I left off, and everything looked fine. And I'm just like, but what does it mean database is corrupted? I don't know. So I got to a point where the game saved, and I said, okay, fine. And I went and I just restarted my PlayStation because it wanted me to. I said, I better do it. I don't want to be using my PlayStation if it's corrupted. Then there was a little progress bar, and it said it was rebuilding the database. It did not take too long. It took like, a couple of minutes. And I was like on pins and needles the entire time because I was like, ah! But then thankfully it rebooted. And I said, okay, fine. But I had yet another minor panic attack because when the home screen came up, it looked like a brand new PlayStation with all of the Sony apps were up there. And I'm like, where's all my recently played games and everything that should be there? Because it was all the Sony apps. But the background was still my custom background from Shenmue, so I was like, okay, there's still something of me in here. It's not completely gone. So I went into the library, and as I went to the library, I passed by the screen captures, and I opened that up just to check, and all of my screen captures for all of my various games were all there, so I was like, okay, that's good to know. I went into the library, I opened Assassin's Creed, all the games that I had downloaded still were there, so I was like, okay. So I just started playing Assassin's Creed again, and it loaded up, and I was not exactly where I left off. I was in the same city, but I was at the start point, if you were to fast travel to that city, I think that I was in that position. I was in a different place, but I was still in the same area, in the same city. I was just over here instead of over there. And I was like, okay, but I checked, and all the quests were the same, and all my gear was the same, and it looked like it was okay, fine. So everything was where I left it, so I was like, okay. And then I played a little bit, and I didn't notice this until the next day when I played some more, that all of a sudden I'd be playing, and I kept getting the little pop-ups in the corner where it was like, installed this update, installed that update, installed this. It just started updating various games and apps, mostly apps, and a couple of games, and it was like, oh, I'm just going to download all these updates. So I guess when it rebuilt the database, it didn't rebuild everything at its current version, so it had to go and update a few things, I guess. Whatever it takes, as long as everything is fine, I don't care. I do wonder if this rebuilding database thing, because I think that that's similar to what happens when, as you know if you've been watching my videos for a while, I occasionally have problems when the PlayStation will update, and then I can't just wake it up and jump back into my game, and I have to restart the PlayStation, and then it has to rebuild the database and stuff. So I'm wondering if after having done that a dozen or so times over the years, that just built up and it needed a proper reconstruction of the whole thing. But as long as my game saves are still there, that's all I care about. Although there's only two that I really care about, is Assassin's Creed, because that's what I'm currently playing, and then I should have checked my No Man's Sky, because that's the other one that I would like to go back to and be able to play the current game and pick up where I left off, please, and not have to restart after all those hundreds of hours. But it should be fine, because as a friend of mine reminded me, I have game saves in the cloud because I am a PlayStation Plus member, so I should be okay. But I do need to check that. Maybe I'll check that after I finish this, because I'm concerned. Also, on the PlayStation, I saw that there was a demo for the Iron Man VR game that's coming out in July. And so I thought, oh, let me check that out. I love a good demo. And I love VR, so whatever. So I went to download that, and when I was checking the demo section and I filtered to VR, I saw that there was also a demo for the Space Channel 5 VR game, which I had heard not great things about, but I thought, it's a free demo, why not try it, you know? So I started with that one, and I get what everybody's saying, like, you're not Ulala, you're another female reporter who stands, like, just behind and to the side of Ulala. So as you're facing off against the aliens and stuff, you're mimicking their moves and doing what Ulala is doing at the same time she's doing. So I'm not really sure why you couldn't just be Ulala, but I think they wanted to have Ulala on screen. So if you were Ulala, you would just see her little arms and laser gun, and you'd have to look down to see her skirt, and it would be weird. So they wanted Ulala on screen, probably. So that's why you're behind her, playing another character. It was fine. It was basically like Space Channel 5. Instead of button pressing, you were moving the move controllers, you know, left, right, shoot, shoot, also shoot, shoot. I was playing it sitting down, and I think I might have gotten a better score if I had played it standing up, because when you go left, right, up, down, the down goes down, like, past the coffee table, and it can't track that, so I don't know if it counted when I went down. But if I was standing up, then it would see everything and it would be fine. But, I mean, it's okay. I don't know how long it is, the game. It's basically Space Channel 5, but with move controllers and in VR. But it's the kind of thing where I'm like, is it really worth, like, $40? Not so much. Like, I feel like but I would probably get it if it was in, like, a PSN sale and it was, like, under 20. Then I would probably get it, just because I love Space Channel 5 and it's fun and it's cute. And it might be fun to play, even in VR. But that whole, with the VR games, it's always, like, the money thing. Like, that's why I like stuff like, you know, with, like, No Man's Sky or, like, Resident Evil, where it's, like, an actual game, and they just add in VR, so you can play it in VR if you like. But you don't have to. It's like an add-on. Because then you're getting, like, a full game that's in VR. Because when they make games for VR, they tend to be rather on the short side and not a full, you know, game. So, you know, paying $40 for something that's not really going to last that long is like, eh. Although I was very impressed with the Iron Man demo. It was rather impressive. The demo is 2 sections. The first section is you in the suit, and you fly around a course to, like, test out your suit, and you, like, learn how to fly and how to shoot things. It was slightly awkward because it says you can play it sitting down, but I'm not really sure how that works, because you're supposed to, like, take the move control, you're supposed to hold them down by your side and press the trigger buttons to fly, and I don't know how that would, like, can you go, like, I guess maybe you can go like this, and it would do it, but that's uncomfortable to fly around. And I found it awkward because I mean, it was fun, because I'm like, you know, I must have looked a pillow, because I'm like this, and I'm like, woo, standing up, of course, and then to fly, and that was kind of cool, and you're, like, flying around and stuff, but it was hard to maneuver, and because I forgot that there's, like, buttons to turn, you know, to the sides, so that would have helped if I had remembered that when I was trying to move around, instead of, like, turning literally the entire way around and getting tangled in the cord and all. I didn't actually get tangled in the cord, thank goodness, but I could have. So, like, it was also awkward because you're flying like this, and then when you have to shoot something, you have to bring your hand up to press the move button to fire your repulsor rays. So it was slightly awkward because there's a hover button. If you don't press it, you still hover a little, but you start to slowly drift down. You don't plummet out of the sky, thank goodness. That would have been really, that would have been terrible gameplay, so they obviously didn't do that, because that would have sucked. Like, if the minute you stopped your flying, you had to quick press the button so that it would hold you in space so you could fire your lasers and things, that would suck. So, the second part of the demo is like a little taste of the story. It introduces the villain who attacks Tony while he's on his, Stark jet, and you have to go out and get your suit on and fight these, like, drones. And there it was okay, because there I remembered the buttons to turn left and right, so I was like, okay. So when there were, like, drones over here, I was able to, quick press the button and it would go poof, and then I was able to shoot at them. The problem was twofold, was that the repulsor rays overheat, so you can't shoot too many of them, and they would overheat and then they wouldn't work, and then I would get shot at, and that sucked a bit. But my main problem with that was some of the drones would fire energy blasts at you, and at first I tried to, like, dodge out of the way, but that didn't really work, and then I ended up dying, so I had to restart from the checkpoint. And when they started shooting back, because the first drones don't shoot at you, so it's okay, then the ones that do, that made it really difficult, because you had to, like, shoot at them, and then if a beam was coming at you, you had to, like, put your hands down and fly out of the way, and then shoot back at them again. And I don't know if you can, like, keep your hands up and press the trigger buttons and still fly, or would you just fly backwards? I don't know. I didn't try that yet. But I do want to give the demo another go, because afterwards you can play the main demo, or you can play the flight course and the mid-air rescue. It was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun, but I just found the controls kind of awkward, and I went back to try the flight course, but it wasn't the same flight course as in the main demo. It was different, and I still struggled maneuvering and flying. It was not easy. But I would like to give the demo another try just to see if I can figure out and try the controls in different ways to see if I can make it work better. I don't know if it actually has, I didn't check to see if you could use the regular controller. That might be an easier way to do it. Like, I can just sit down and I can use the controller, and then I can, like, that might make things easier. But I don't really like doing that. I much prefer using the Move controllers when I'm in VR, because it makes it more of an experience. So, we'll see if I give the Iron Man another try, if I can, like, finesse the controls and get it in my head to understand how they work. It might be worth a purchase, because it looked pretty cool, honestly. And it was fun. I don't know I don't know how long it's going to be and how much it's going to cost, so it's like, also I don't know what I'll be playing at that time, so I'll probably still be playing Assassin's Creed, honestly, but if I'm not in the market for a new game, I'm not buying a new game, because then I won't finish my old game. You know how that is. So that's it for this episode. Come back next time and I'll talk about more stuff. And stay home and stay safe, please. It's getting ugly out there. Bye!